Welcome back. This is Dan Havey with CF Ninja Hacks, and in this video, we're going to walk through how to create an accordion out of the existing FAQ element built right into ClickFunnels. Now, in the past, you've seen other accordions, other FAQs that I have built, and here's one right here where we had a button at the top. You click on that button, and it would drop down the content underneath it. This would be some sort of a course material right here. I couldn't find the actual funnel for it, so I just had to find this image on YouTube. And then here we had one where this is a text element, and you click on it, and it opens and closes another text element below it, and this little icon spins around. And I've showed you all kinds of different ways here. So here are text elements, and then we have a text element slide in like that. And here we got another text element. You're going to see on all these is the icons also rotate as we go through the process. So here's a third way of doing a text element. And then this one here, these are actually buttons right there. And then we can do another text element here. And finally, the last one, again, we do another button, and these are all done slightly different ways. And again, I have videos on all of these in the past. But what we're going to do now is, like I said, we're going to create this here out of existing FAQ element inside of ClickFunnels. And when we are done, this is what it's going to look like. So we're going to take the existing element, and all we're going to do is we're going to animate it and make an icon spin. So let's go into the actual code itself. And so all you have to do is pile up a bunch of FAQ elements on top of each other. You can, of course, change the top margin, the size of the question, size of the text colors. But that's pretty much it natively that you can do in here. You can, of course, come in and do like bold, underline, italicize of the text as well, both the question and the answer, right, left, justified. You can put hyperlinks in here. And of course, you can apply any CSS you want to these elements as well. You could insert other elements into it. There's all kinds of stuff that you could do beyond just the element itself if you wanted to, but you're going to start off with a base element built right into ClickFunnels. Now, the first thing we have to do is natively out of the box, let me see here, where did I have that open? Natively out of the box, when you put your pointer over this here, or you put your arrow, you put it over the text, it turns into that straight up and down line. And we, of course, want it to be a pointy finger. So that's the first bit of CSS we're going to put in here. We're just going to say, we're going to take that FAQ title, and we're going to give it the cursor pointer. And now as we go over it, then it will give us that little hand thing. Then the next thing we want to do is we want to say, let's take that icon that is right here, this question mark. This is already an existing icon. Let me just show you that here real quickly. So let's right click on this. Let me do this. And we will go into inspect that element. So we'll click on it. And so right here we have our icon inside of our FAQ element. And so at this point here, it says FAQ question circle. And what we want to do is we want to change that. And that's what these next two bits are here. And we also want to put it on the right-hand side. Now, could you leave it right here and just have like an arrow rotating going back and forth like we do with something here? And the answer is, of course, yes, you could, but I wanted to show how to put it onto the right-hand side. And so that's pretty simple. We just, again, we put in our CSS ID selector there for it, and then we say float right, and we're going to give it a transition of half a second. So as that X spins around in a circle, it will take half a second to go from a plus sign to the X sign. And again, it's the exact same element. All we're doing is rotating it a little bit. So then we're going to do that. And then what we're going to do is this is the part here that says, what should this element be? And so let's go back into our content here, and we come down underneath the I. We're going to click on here. Oh, I'm already clicked on before. And we have the content in here of F059. Well, that is the font awesome Unicode for this icon. And so we need to change that Unicode, and that's what we do here to F067. And so we will turn that on. And when I have these little slash marks in front of the declaration like that, in front of the selector, that actually creates a syntax error. It's not technically a way to edit, or to comment out information. It actually creates a syntax error and it kills the code. So it's just real simple. You can put that in there. And then we got our FAQ answer. So again, in all of our other examples, we pretty much came in and we said, okay, this second element here, this headline element, what we want to do is we want to hide that ahead of time. So, you go up to the top to our elements and you click on the little eyeball and you hide something. Well, in this case here, I wanted to do it, and I really had to do it this way, this is how we're going to have to hide the answer part, because again, it's all part of one element. So I can't come in and say, let's hide this element, because we're only hiding half of the element. So we had to say, let's go into our FAQ answer. And again, let's take a look at that here. So we can click on this. Oops, let me do it this way. We'll come over here, do this. So here we got our second part. We got our FAQ title at the top, and then we have our FAQ answer as the class for the bottom part. So that's why we're just calling here the class of FAQ answer, and we're saying to display none. And of course it went away. And now the last part we're going to say is, okay, we want to rotate this little icon here. And we're going to do that by calling a little bit of JavaScript code here in a minute. I'll show it to you. And we're just going to say rotate icon. And what do we want to do? We want to transform and rotate that icon 135 degrees. So you saw it as we clicked on it. Here it spun around a little bit over half a second. It moves 135 degrees. And so, and we're doing that over half a second. So here we're saying that when we go back to the normal state that it's in, where it's the plus sign, we want it to go back to that in half a second. And when we put in the rotate icon, we want that to take half a second. So at one point, we're going to be turning on the rotate icon, and then we're going to be turning off the rotate icon. So you want to make sure that in its native state, you have the transition, and also in the rotated state, you have the transition. And that's why we have the transition here and here as well. So now if we go into our tracking code, it's quite simple tracking code. I will move this out of the way. And so what we have here is we say, when somebody clicks on that FAQ title, so we already looked at it and we decided this is the FAQ title and the FAQ answer was below it. But what we're going to say is when somebody clicks on this title, that we want to go to the next sibling element. So this means the thing we just clicked on. So this element we just clicked on, let's go to the next sibling element, and we want to toggle that over 500 milliseconds. So just like where we're rotating the icon, we're going to have a slide down in 500 milliseconds, which is half a second. So here it's going to slide down in half a second. So what toggle does, toggle tells it to hide or show. So just like we clicked on the eyeball a minute ago, that hides and shows it. Well, same thing here in the code. A toggle means if it's showing, hide it. If it's hiding, show it. So boom, boom, on, off. And as far as the next goes, let's come back in here again. And what we will do is we will close this up, and then we have this. So what we're saying is here, if somebody clicks on the FAQ title, go to the next sibling element, which here, they're sibling elements because they're lined up here with the same tabbing in from the left. So they're lined up here, so we know this is a sibling element, and also we know it's the next one. So it just says now show the text in the answer at that point. So we're going to show the text, boom, right there. And then what we're going to say is, again, we're looking at this. So the thing that we just clicked on, we want to find the A tag in there, and we want it to give it the class of rotate icon. So again, here we're doing toggle class. So if it currently has the class of rotate icon, we're going to take that class away. And if it doesn't have it, we're going to give it to it, which again, of course, is going to rotate that icon element. And again, just one real quick look here at the elements again. Here is our I tag right there. So it's going to say rotate that because we didn't say go to the next sibling element. We said stay within itself here and find the A tag inside of itself. So I think that's it for explanation. And like I said, when you're done, you have it here. But I also said so you can doctor this up all you want. You can throw in some more CSS. You can make it all kinds of different colors. You can put a background color behind it. You can put boxes around it, box shadows, the whole thing. You can leave your icon over here on the left. You can take the icon away completely if you want. And then again, using a little bit of JavaScript, like I said, you could take and insert images inside of here along with your text. So there's any options that you want, but I think it's a pretty neat little trick to be able to do it using the actual native FAQ item already built into ClickFunnels. So as always, if you got any questions, just let me know.